All right, welcome to uniFires Adoption Working Group. Today we are talking about token minting and going to be diving into some of the pain points. We're gonna surface pain points and capture some novel use cases. We had some other people invited to today's workshop. We've been trying to keep them small so that we can actually build relationships between builders in these calls, instead of just end up listening to too many people and not getting to have any time to speak. Anyway, in doing so, we have gotten stood up a little bit, and so we're a little light on participation, but it's going to be good anyway. Well, thank you, Lou, for being here, and Zachary. Also known as Cash. Let's do a little introduction about ourselves, a little more, and go from there. I can start, I suppose. My name is Peter Wolcott. I've been working around Cardano, specifically Project Catalyst, since around Fund 5. I'm fascinated by what the edge of technology, especially blockchain, and how it allows us to practice and practice governance and explore new ways to do things we would normally consider ubiquitous, and rethink all sorts of things. Blockchain is I'm fascinated by it and how it can be leveraged to change the world for better and honestly for worse. And so there are reasons. There's a reason for me to pay attention in this space because, yeah, I care about my friends and my family, and I see how powerful technology can be to change things. And this is blockchain is a big one. And yeah, that's me.
I can continue. So my name is Linda. I work in Web3 now. It's third year, two and a half, two and something. And I work in Polkadot ecosystem. I started with Codadot, which is an NFT marketplace. One of the biggest one in Polkadot ecosystem. So I work also a lot of time with NFTs, with artists, and so I have a lot of experience from our platform, like from the times when things were not working to the times where things were working. So I will be very happy today to discuss a bit more of my insights about this topic. And yeah, I'm still working with the team. I'm at the moment not even in my home country, but we had exhibition in Berlin a few days ago, and it was a very nice exhibitions because we had a few panels there, and we talked with a lot of people that were in crypto, and with and the exhibition was focused, the talks were focused all on the art and NFTs, on the future, and we discussed quite a lot of interesting points. So yeah, that's maybe about me.
Cool. And I'm Cash, aka Zach, not the other way around so much lately. No, I use that joke a lot. But I work for Anvil. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders. We're a Cardano-based NFT company, right? We're a dev company. We do a lot of stuff around NFTs, and we do a lot of stuff around smart contract development. We've been here since, you had to use escrow to trade NFTs. So we've seen a lot. I'm excited to kind of dive into this topic and see what we can pull out of it.
Sweet.
Nice. Can you maybe just send your Twitter or maybe some contact to you, because I would really like to check it out maybe after the call.
Sure.
See a bit more, learn a bit more about the project, dive into it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sweet, sweet.
Nice profile picture.
It's me. There you
I almost
go.
I almost started this call like this in anticipation of you
It's
coming.
not cold enough in Florida, unfortunately,
Yeah.
right now. But I do enjoy a tight hoodie.
Tight. Oh my gosh. All right, good stuff. Well, let's go. So there's I've I've had some experience facilitating calls around NFTs with the NFT Guild, and as much as I wish I was super technical about all this stuff, I haven't always taken the time to dive at it as hard because I've been facilitating shops and doing all sorts of other things. But one pain point that I have thought of is that, well, well, that's the thing. I always, from my perspective, when pain points at NFTs, it seems pretty easy, especially these days, to find someone to help you create an NFT project. Now, there's all sorts of varied complexity as to what you can't. I think the biggest pain point is like knowing what's possible in terms of what you can make in for an NFT project. But at the same time, then if like that's up to the artist to decide what things they want to blend together, and it can't be necessarily prescriptive to say, oh, you need to have, like, for me, I'm more interested in stuff with utility, but I'm not necessarily in like, oh, I'm gonna get these two NFTs and breed them, and then I'm gonna make another one. Like that's not necessarily the utility, but and that's like pretty old utility for NFTs, but at the same time, anyway. So the knowledge to what's available and what cool things can be done. I was reading another thread this morning about uh what was it? Oh shit. Lost it. Lost the thread. Um about how we yeah, no, it's gone.
No worries.
Yep, well, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, question of utility of NFTs is one of the like most discussed ones because, for example, or our platform we support like just art, I would say, but the 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 one who gives the utility to the NFT is usually the person behind the collection, and I mean there is a lot of utilities that are already used. But for example, if I should use it at Polkadot as an example, I was chatting with a lot of people and told them like I work with Polkadot NFTs and blah blah blah. And they were like, "Are there even NFTs on Polkadot?" And they were even surprised. So I think it's because we have some nice artists, we have some nice collections there, but none of them got to the point where it's like, okay, maybe they figure out some nice utility or created something that was not there before, and they pushed it out. But I think we mostly just, I don't want to say copied, but did similar projects that were already outside, like. So it's this is what I see in Polkadot mostly, that we don't have NFTs with proper utilities. We don't have our own big projects that are like, okay, wow, this is really interesting, even for people that are outside of the ecosystem. We had, for example, one collection, which was Kusama Kingdom, and these the owners of these NFTs are together managing a fund. I don't know like much details like how do they do it and these things. And I know that this is one of the first, or maybe like one of the most popular collections that was on Polkadot, and they had even like queens, and then you can create a baby, and like each this thing gave you some benefit. But yeah, like they got to the point where they're partially leaving Polkadot, so yeah, this is maybe my opinion about the state of NFTs in Polkadot. But I'm not saying that it's bad or it's very bad. But I would really love to see more interesting ideas regarding these tokens coming to the ecosystem, or maybe like new projects popping up. I don't know how is the situation in Cardano.
We're talking
If
to
you
one
have
of the experts here.
It's pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, and now it's a good segue. I have a very clear thought on what the current state is, and then kind of what we'll see in the future a little bit, right? So right
Mhm.
now, obviously we're in a bear market, right? I think a lot of people would agree with that,
Yeah.
or on the uptick to the bull market. But we've seen a bad bear market for NFTs specifically, right? And I think on the flip side of that, the only ones that are really truly going to come out and prevail are the ones that have utility, community, or history, right? So you have historical NFTs like, well, I mean, I'll use a Cardano reference, something like Space Buds, right? They were the first NFT collection on Cardano. They have a lot of rich history, technology that was built with them. So I think like something like that will really have like a good carryover. But what I'm really interested in, and I think a lot of people are, is the utility part of it, right? And I think one of the main reasons why utility will always reign supreme is because people will come up with new ways to do it, right? They're going to keep continuing to take NFTs and evolve them. What we're looking at is like the first stage of NFTs in the evolutionary cycle, right? NFTs are going to be used for a lot of different things, hopefully to the point where you don't even know that you're using an NFT, right? Like it just feels like part of daily
Yeah,
life.
that's the goal. Yeah.
And the technology, it collaborates really nicely with that because, we're not there yet. It's just a fact, right? Like we're getting there, but it's a process. Like I saw Charles had posted something the other day. Blockchain is the culmination of 50 years of technology and research and all this stuff. And he's right. And, I don't think NFTs utility is going to happen overnight. It's going to be a long thing where people figure it out, then they mold the NFTs to do what they want for them.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, so then the use cases of yeah, so so real world assets and stuff like that are
Yeah,
what
I
are the
think that
coolest real world assets that you've seen like in use uh on Cardano specifically, Zach?
I mean, it's still very early, I think, but we're still, like I said, we're in that experimental phase. I think one of the cool ones that I saw was Patrick from Endmaker doing the Timons, and I hate to give him credit publicly, you know that. No, I'm just kidding. But the
Oh,
uh, the
Patrick
the
and Pratesh.
diamonds, what's that?
Oh, the diamonds? Oh, okay, no, Pratesh has the rings that he's making.
Yep.
Okay, so this is different.
Those
Sorry.
two.
All right,
And then
yeah.
there's some plays at like real estate, and then there's also the plays at like the trading portfolios, doing like forex trading, and then the gains flip over. That
Mm,
project is one of the ones that we help mint. So there are some starting stages of it, and if you dig through the Catalyst proposals, you'll see more, right?
yeah, there are some more.
I
It,
mean, with the real assets, we also haven't been very lucky in Polkadot. For example, our platform, we experimented with connecting our shop with the NFTs, and we did few campaigns where we have a different merch shop in our shop. So not only like Coda, but for example, some nice pieces from artists. And we've been experimenting with we were calling like hidden drops, that there was like every time you bought an NFT from specific collection, there was like hidden content, which was very, I think, interesting because only the owner of the collection was able to open and open the hidden content, and we directly linked it with our shop where the person was able to claim free hoodie, for example. So but this is very, I would say, maybe just like beginning, or not beginning, but like very basic implementation or very basic idea, even though it already makes NFTs somehow more interesting because it gives you like some value in a real life. So yeah, I would say like this is something in Polkadot where we started with. I don't know where it can go. We are at the moment not really exploring the real life assets because our NFT change sweeps we swapped the focus to generative art a bit, but yeah, there are a lot of like in real life examples, like people can be trading with, like it can be even like normal things like cars or real estate. All these things can become one day NFTs, but in a way that you will not call it NFT, you know, like there will be these transaction and exchanges will be happening between people without them even knowing that there is like technology on a blockchain behind it. So I think this is maybe one of the ultimate goals of these, at least with the real assets. And then you can use them, you know, even for example, there are also example of POAPs that people, you know, like you can claim POAP when you attended some event. We also have a Coda that has POAP page, and I've been exploring how these POAPs work and
POAP?
what
What's a POAP mean?
proof of attendance. So it's like
Oh,
every
okay,
time
yeah.
you know, like you can get you attend the event and then you can just claim some QR code and then you will just get this NFT, and it's like only an NFT for you because you're the one who attended the event. And in the future you can use that as you know, like proof of records or some proof of your activity that you attended this and this and this event. So it's also like one of the use cases, and that can be done, and that maybe we in Polkadot have. And in the future these things can work even like a tickets, you know, like for events or something. So you know, you have proof of attendance, but you can even use it, for example, I think NFC Summit in Lisbon. I don't know if you know about the event. It's like one of the biggest NFT events, I would say, or maybe NFT art gaming events, and it's happening in Lisbon actually, I think just these days. And they even do the if you get ticket once, then you will if you attend the event, you will receive like POAP thingy or like some specific NFTs, and next year you don't have to pay the entrance if you use that NFT as a yeah, you will, I don't know how you will show them, I haven't been there, but like tickets normally cost around 400 euros. So I mean, it's a nice way how to keep people hooked.
Yeah,
So
to build a OG squad like that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's proof of attendance stuff has definitely been a pain point in Cardano. Um, that's something like like I said, I've worked around Project Catalyst. It's like fun 5 or 6, and dude, that's like 3 years ago now, and we were talking about proof of attendance for, you know, the town hall and the after town hall for a long time. And I hosted the after town hall for like a year and a half, and right at the end when I was doing it, Darlington from Lido Nation worked with Proofspace to get a proof of attendance NFT that you could scan with off the Proofspace app and be able to get a proof of attendance for attending the town hall. And he's been doing that since, so that was last fall, I believe he started doing it sometime, or maybe last summer. But then in all of these catalyst workshops that have sprung up this year, end of last year, those were supposed to get proof of it, the ability to do proof of attendance similarly to what Darlington has set up for the town hall. And for some reason it's not been implemented or something like that. So it's like, how I don't understand. A pain point for me with with Cardano and Catalyst in terms of proof of attendance is that we haven't been able to figure out how to manage that so far, and I don't know why. Like, why it doesn't seem like it should be that expensive. I've heard the numbers of how much it costs to do to for proof space to do all of the proof of attendance for Catalyst workshops, and it's a few couple $1,000. It's not like tens of thousands, you know, in or multiples of that or anything like that. So I, that's a very real pain point for me, is like, why haven't we figured out how to, why aren't we slinging proof of attendance out of Intersect for every single workshop that's done? Why aren't we doing why haven't we figured that out in Catalyst, in the Catalyst workshops this year so far? Because I mean, Darlington has figured out how to do it with proof space for the last, and has issued a weekly one for the last like 50 weeks. So not, maybe not
It's
50, 40. Yeah.
and All right, let's just make it very clear. It's very, very possible. It's not that complex. And I mean, technically you could do it right now. You just would need like the infrastructure, right? You
Mm-hmm.
need front end, you need to be able to create a nice UI UX. And then the minting portion and things like that are very simple. Like you could what we like to all right, first of all, we're working with Intersect right now to do exactly what you just explained. So
Okay, awesome. Well, like
it
starting when? Let's go.
so it's
So it's coming.
soon TM.
Yeah,
Uh, my favorite. No, it's close, right? Like it's a process, and the thing is, the problem is it just started because Intersect is fairly new, right? In actuality, Cardano is not very new. So should this have been figured out much before? Yes, absolutely. And you've seen kind of some of it, like NFT Las Vegas, right? They have technically proof of attendance, right? You get an NFT, Rare Evo, same way, you get an NFT. But for me, it really takes a clean UI UX to be able to do it successfully. And what I really think of is what are you doing with it, right? Like how are you capturing it? Is it just an NFT every time? Does it have a brand new policy every time, right? Or am I a member, right? Like I become a member of Intersect and then I have one NFT that's SIP68, which we know,
right.
right? It's a little more dynamic. It's easier to adjust. And then that carries a log over time of all of my attendance to these events, right? Both
Mhm.
are possible. It's just a matter of how people see it fit and how much they want to invest into doing something like that, right? Like you
Right.
said, it's not that expensive. Like it really isn't. It just takes a little bit of finesse on the front end to make it look cool and be really easy for people to cuz like let's be honest, most of the people who attend the Catalyst workshop, they're not that integrated into the NFT ecosystem, right? But
No,
they know about it. They
they
want
know
one.
about
They're
it.
like,
Yeah, they know about it, and they would, and having like a log of these are the where I have been. This is the stuff I have seen, because that's what one thing, like going in when you go in cold to start learning and lurking and exploring these communities, you got to track yourself to figure out what you're learning about, what you have learned about, what you haven't learned about, and having a log could really help with that. Plus, then you could show other people, yeah, no, I'm not just talking out my ass that I've been in this space for the last 3 years. I have it here, and
Yeah, that
yeah,
is good. That is very good.
yeah. But then UI UX you were talking about. I'm gonna should pull up my phone here, and this is not like a regular wallet. This is the proof space wallet, and I don't have these NFTs, like these attendance credentials, anywhere
Mhm.
else. I don't think I can move them. So you're right, when it comes to UI UX, the experience even matters. This is the simplest version. This is the only place I've seen it work. So that's why I'm bringing it up. But it could be better. Like I can't see that along with my attendance to Catalyst town halls, along with the few NFTs and other coins that I have in my wallet, in my actual wallet. I'm not sure what the heck type of wallet this is, exactly. I did, there were some keys at the beginning, I believe, but
you
I
lost
don't,
them.
no, I didn't lose them. For sure I
I
didn't
mean,
lose them. I have a strong pattern here.
you could they could still always take that and administer new NFTs, right? They could
Yeah,
take your history as long as they have it somewhere. It's not lost forever, right?
right. Right. Which so okay, so how you mentioned, well, we've talked about some pain points in Cardano on proof of attendance. You started talking about how the UI UX matters. And so what do you see? I guess this could be either be a use case, because it doesn't, you're setting a new bar in the ecosystem. You have an opportunity to do that. So you can talk about the use case, or you can take it from the other side. What are we trying to avoid? Pain points, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're trying to avoid is administering a ton of policies, administering a ton of NFTs, right? My thought process is let's take the simplest route, one NFT that updates, right? Because that's actually more than just being a cool NFT that tracks your history. It's a showcase of the technology of Cardano,
Evolution,
right?
or yeah. Do you
Mm-hmm.
Which
already have something like that in Cardano, like some evolving NFTs or some?
Kind of, right? It takes a lot of work. They're called, we have different SIPs. Each SIP is like the definition and rules of how you do the product. And in this case, we call them SIP 68. It was a invention by the founder of Spacebuds, our first NFT. And
Mhm.
he basically made the NFTs so that you can change them whenever you want, right? And you don't have to pay the transaction fees. You can lock the policy, which makes them immutable technically, right? So at the end of the day, you can't mint more, but you can always change and update the NFTs, right? So it's kind of a cool solution. It's not 100% dynamic in my mind because that would have like a fully open policy where you could continue to mint, but they would still be locked as soon as they're minted, things like that. But
Yeah.
it's close, right?
Yeah. It's a nice start, yeah, to the. And where would you like to see this initiative going? Like how it should look like, or what would be maybe the end goal of it?
I mean, for me, there's a lot of different ways that you can skin a cat, right? Like there's so many different ways that just people take products and then they develop on top of them, right? Like that's what I love about Cardano is that's what pretty much everybody here has done. Not a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel here. Like
Yeah.
if they do, it's going to be something groundbreaking. So for me, it's just how clean can you make it? How easy is it for a user to digest, right? Maybe you even have it something like that, like an offline app where it tracks it, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not connected to the blockchain until you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
And then you press the button, export, give me my NFT. Then you have everything there. You attend the event, you scan the QR code, it automatically updates your NFT. You don't have to do anything, right? That
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's a treasury wallet set up to cover the transaction fees, whatever it may be, but you don't actually do anything except for scan the QR
Mhm.
code and then your NFT gets updated. That's what really will work. Not, oh, well, you also have to sign a transaction,
Or
right? You
yeah,
have
the
to do all this
simplicity.
other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
always think
would
about the
love.
end users. Always think
Yeah,
about like I always joke and say, is it easy enough that my mom could do it, right? And like that's my actual proof test for a lot of things. Like we designed our marketplace around that because I was like, my mom needs to come on here and be able to figure out how to buy an NFT. So that's why we made it simple, right? That's I think
yeah,
people confuse technology being complicated with the product being complicated. Like the product doesn't need to be complicated. You can do whatever you want over here, but when you spit it out, it has to be very simple, right? People need to be able to understand it from every walk of life.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. This is something I totally agree with because yeah, there are. I still think even not only in Polkadot but in general, like if you try to use these marketplaces, okay, some of them are very simple or maybe it's not that hard, but even the process of the I don't know, like minting or creating anything, like you have to first get the wallet, get the proper wallet. You need to check if you're on a correct chains. You need to top up your wallet, and just this you need just to start. Like there are not many platforms. Okay, maybe I think OpenSea has it, and like for example that have like you can just use normal cash in there without getting crypto. Or, like put it somewhere in a background that you need to use cryptocurrencies but allow people to use their normal fiat money for this. I think also this is one of the crucial things that should be solved because especially when I see it, even when we onboard like new artists to platform or new users or anyone coming, like even people that are in crypto don't know much about, for example, Polkadot, or I bet that they don't know also much about Cardano if they are not directly in the ecosystem or they don't do anything with the projects. And I just remember that there were artists telling me or like users telling me like, okay, do I really need to create a new wallet to be able even to interact with the with your platform, and this is what it hit me, because then I realized that even people that maybe already are in crypto and are already users, they just have these all extra steps if they want to do anything in Polkadot, because Polkadot is not one of the first places where you will go buy NFT, like it's not like when someone wakes up in the morning and tells, oh, I want to buy this NFT on Polkadot, and just creates a wallet and does the thing. So I think here is what is important, is like the interoperability of these ecosystems, because this is something that like it's very lacking, and I can see it even with the normal users, and I'm not even talking about your mom or my mom, like for them, I think that these platforms are still too complicated, like just the understanding of them and things around. So yeah, that's my opinion about. But yeah, I really want to see like these platforms to be more user friendly, for people to be able to engage between ecosystems, like that's what we are trying also to do here, open the discussions between ecosystems to people to learn from each other, but also to make the process easier. So it's not only with the NFTs, of course, it's also with other projects. And um, yeah, we need that interoperability to be everywhere. But with yeah, I see it with the art, I see it with the we with anyone coming to Polkadot ecosystem have these extra steps. Anyone coming, if even our artists now will decide, okay, maybe I want to learn a bit more about Cardano, it's again like some extra steps. It's like everything has these extra steps. And normally if you want, I don't know, have a bank or want to buy art, like the process seems much more simple. So I think this is something we really lack, not in Polkadot but in general. So
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's kind of like, for me, like, I don't know if you guys have ever used like Binance or anything like that, like a
yeah,
centralized exchange, right? I know it's crazy to say that like we need to go back to being more centralized, but if you look at how they handle all the tokens and how it's a wallet basically. It's just a big wallet that it doesn't matter what chain it's from. They just show everything, right? So all the stuff
yeah.
that happens in the background, you don't care about, right? Because you say, okay, I've got Polkadot, I've got Cardano, I've got ETH, I've got all these different things in my wallet, right? We need that same thing for NFTs, for general purpose that is a little bit more decentralized, right? Maybe it's a biometric wallet, right? Maybe it's something that you sign up for using your face and a thumb scan. I don't know, right? But it's got to be something that's a little bit more chain synonymous, that basically you can hold all your stuff there and it's a custodial wallet, right? And then when
Yeah,
you find the time to learn about the ecosystem in a deeper way, then you
yeah,
can take the leap, download Eternal, or I mean, you know what I mean? Like, kind of
Yeah.
like
yeah.
really
Also
dial it in
imagine,
from that.
yeah. Sorry, I don't want to
No,
jump
you're
Yeah,
in.
good.
if you want to protect the assets beyond that, if you want to go deeper than just appreciating the art and doing the collecting and being and the ease of access between all the different chains, because there's artists on all the chains, and a lot of the good artists, which
Yeah,
in my opinion, a lot of the good artists that I've talked to and I've seen are like a little more, they're like, I feel sleazy putting my art on 3 different chains and
Right.
stuff like that. So then you have to go to where your artist is. And
yeah,
if I like artists on Tron and Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot, I do not have a wallet that can view all of that shit
yeah.
under one seed phrase. That's true. It
This
is.
is this is something I was also thinking about. Like, imagine just like, yeah, I have, for example, NFTs. I bought these NFTs on Polkadot, and that's where they're staying. Like I cannot move them, for example, and trade them for something in Cardano. Like, imagine just being able to trade. I don't know. I like your Cardano NFT and just flip it. Like not only Cardano, like any other chain. Like just
Mhm.
make this. I can imagine if there was. I mean, we are still probably early with NFTs, because these things are not even with normal tokens, like the cryptocurrencies and these things, even they are sometimes hard to move between, ecosystems. So I think till we still have time till NFTs will be maybe more more flexible, more liquid, I would say. Like you would be able to trade them easier, or maybe even exchange them for money, like sell them faster. Because right now, if anyone in Polkadot decides that they want to sell the NFT, like who can buy it? Only the people in Polkadot, and then the community there is still not that strong. And also now just came to my mind, like there are things how to make, for example, selling of the NFTs easier, like if they have a, well, this is again, we are coming back to utility, but like it's easy for people to understand NFTs, for example, via gaming. Like I really enjoy when I see like games that are built on blockchains. I mean, I played some of them are very basic, but there were already some new ones, and we have a lot of like these games also in Polkadot that are just raising, and there are coming, and there will be probably more of them. And I think this is one of nice ways how you can just teach people about NFTs, and just allow them to explore the NFTs without even knowing that they are using NFTs. So sorry that I jumped into gaming, but
No,
yeah,
I
it
love
was
it.
good.
Yeah.
That's a big pain point for me, right? I'm a gamer, right? Like
Okay.
I've been gaming forever, like literally since I could hold a Game Boy, maybe even before that. And literally, it's so simple and so straightforward to me that NFTs are the future of gaming, right? But
Yeah.
like, how do you do that without forcing people who literally they despise NFTs, right? Like they hear the word NFT and they get sick. They reference the South Park episode where they make fun of them. You know what I mean? So like, for me, it's about integrating it in a way that makes sense without using, again, one of the biggest things that we try to do as a company is shy away from the word NFT because it scares people outside of crypto, right? So
Yeah.
when I talk about ownership, right? Like you can spend 5,000 like dollars right now on League of Legends and buy a faker signed skin, but you don't ever own it. Once you die, you can't transfer ownership of the account. So like you just basically gave them $5,000 for air. Like of course you're going to use it while you're there, but wouldn't it be cool to be able to pass that on to the next generation, pass that on to somebody you know, trade it, right? Maybe for something you like more at a future point. You have to really get them to understand the core semantics of how it will work instead of
Right.
saying the word NFT to them, or else they're never going to use it. But cornucopias, perfect example. That could be a very big opportunity to have a lot of outreach, and I think people are seeing them kind of as the favorite on Cardano to be able to achieve that, right? Like I had a call last week where it was literally our NFT's dead. So
Yeah,
we
I
talked
watched
about
that.
gaming for like 40 minutes of the hour was all about gaming. And there's a lot of people that are going to build and use NFT technology in the future. I think Game of War, something like that. It's an ETH project maybe, but the game looks like a AAA studio produced it. And that's what we need, right? Like I hate to say it to like the people who are trying really hard and they're making their game, but we need somebody big to come in and break the door down, and then it'll allow for all of these other trickle down effects of smaller projects being able to use them, play to earn, right? Not every game is going to be play to earn, but you're going to have a lot of games that decide to say, hey, there's this really cool skin you got, and guess what? It's proof of attendance, right? You attended this point in the game. Now you get an NFT that represents you being there, but it's also a really cool skin that your character has. There's no game, you don't get any benefit in the game except you look cool, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Fortnite skins, like people spend kids spend
So
tens of
crazy.
thousands of dollars on Fortnite and they'll
Yeah.
never own that ever.
Right. Yeah,
I
no,
even
that
have a friend and she plays League of Legends, and I'm always laughing at her because she's not like she's still student, like she's still studying, and I'm like, and she spends money on these skins, and I used to play League of Legends also a bit. Hopefully no one will jump after this video on me because of that, but yeah, we used to play, and I just remember I never put any money in it, like I just played it because yeah, my friends were playing it. and she was always buying these skins and all characters, and she probably spent thousands on it, you know. And then I'm just really like, and I'm like what will you do with it, you know, in the future, you know? Like, it feels maybe like, I think these people, they have it as a collectors, you know. You feel like a collector, you're collecting skins, you collect them all, you know, like Pokemons or something. So it feels good for her, but yeah, in the end, like, I mean, it's there, it's not, you cannot do anything with that, you know. It's not even yours, you know. Like, she
Yeah.
cannot just, you know, like transfer. Imagine her being able to, I don't know, like sell them more, or, you know, like transfer them, or just exactly what Zachary said in a few moments before. So
Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I just see a little opportunity. So, what's the difference between, like, you have this, your friend has an account League of Legends. I understand not being able to transfer it, but just the experience of playing a game and then buying skins to go with it. Like, you're only ever inside that frame, like inside that account, inside that frame to
inside the
earn
game, yeah.
and collect and those things. So the ability to transfer them out of that game or trade them, that's obviously an upgrade. But as far as like, I'm just as can't is there, like, the difference is like, we can make more uh functional like accounts that essentially you can trade things out, but why the
I
experience
think
just gets
I
more
think the main
complicated,
difference is,
honestly. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. With the experience, maybe we can discuss some ideas or something. But like, the biggest difference, you know, like, it's in reality, it's again the basic thing with NFTs. It's the ownership, you know. Like, she doesn't own them, you know. She maybe bought them. She have them in correct in a
Well,
game, but
she
it's
has a
not.
relationship with the company that owns the game, and they say that she owns them,
Can't transfer it.
but she can't transfer it.
And what
Yeah.
happens if she gets banned for cussing somebody out on a bad day after, you know, a long day of
Yeah,
class, and she's like, "Well, I'm tired of this guy," and
there are
she
a lot of
keeps
people getting permabans for even, like, you know, you're just say fuck someone, or
Oh yeah,
maybe some
no.
slightly racist. I'm not going
Yeah, no,
not
that's
going to
true.
say examples, but
I was playing Fortnite last week and I had to check a box that let me know that, because Fortnite was letting me know that we're keeping 5 minutes of recording at any given time. Your last 5 minutes of audio is being recorded for the which I've never been this shithead on games, but
yikes.
yeah, and in the end, they have all the power, you know. They have all
yeah,
the power
that's true.
above you, and you cannot do even. But yeah, like, this is one thing, and the other thing you mentioned is like, what can you do maybe outside of the game with these things? I think this is something to think about. It's too early to think about these things, but I can just imagine like having games and being able to transfer like some assets even between two games that are not, you know, like compatible or something. So
Right.
this
That's
this is
where
like far future, but you know, like being able to have these things to be used on more places, you know. I can imagine it, but I don't think it's easy to imagine, because in one way there are not that, we don't have those use cases here anymore, not yet. Yes, so it's hard to imagine that you would be able to use something in one game and then just use it in other game, you know, or
right, yeah, you just bring some
somewhere.
overpowered weapon from another game and just dominate. So yeah. Yeah.
Ready Player One.
Let's go. Uh Anyway, okay. So yeah, the coolest use case that I've surfaced from this call is s- some non-custodial wallet that that can easily view NFTs across many chains. And you talked about biometrics. That's awesome. I think those types of things definitely, like, why can't I biometric authenticate my Eternal wallet and stuff like that, just to sign.
Soon,
Oh, we already
maybe.
have
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
We already have that in Nova Wallet. I think they have it. I'm
Vesper has
opening.
it.
Yeah,
Vesper,
yeah,
I bet Vesper would have it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's,
The
you open
mobile
the
wallets
item
have it, right?
face.
yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to do on the computer, kind of. You have to have like
Not a
adapters and
right. Well, not all computers have a nice like little scanner and stuff like that
yeah.
to make it.
I mean, you'd think my
Maybe
camera
we're
would be
getting
able to.
Now you need some lidar. Um, measure the distance between your pupils.
there.
Yeah, shit. Um, let's see. So we got about 12 minutes left. How would you like to, what direction should we take this? We could discuss some more.
Maybe let's try to discuss more user cases, or where would we like to see NFTs to be? You know, like we already talked that they can be like real assets, they can be houses and cars and these things. So maybe if anyone
Jewelry, yeah.
has some more examples, because I was thinking, I was reading even some article. I was preparing myself for this call. Like, where can be NFTs used in the future? Like and the very interesting for me that was that they were mentioning very uh, I would say boring fields, you know, like the healthcare or I don't know, like with lawyers, like all these documents that are normally used, you know, like in healthcare, it can be all on blockchain, you know, like these and NFTs. You can have some, even your ID, you know, it can be like as a it can be as an NFT on a blockchain, you know, it gives you better
Hmm.
overview of who is maybe like who is in your country even, you know, like you can have ID when you enter the country and you will know like the blockchain these IDs are in a country, and then you can use them as a voting systems and these like I mean it like it all sounded a bit futuristic, you know, like being able to vote on parliament with just like some kind of NFT, but you know
Identity, yeah.
it makes sense to have something like I don't know if the technology will be still called NFTs at that point, because I think the NFTs is just
So,
for now we call them like that, and it will probably somehow evolve. But I would really love to see like just them getting into these boring fields. Like I called it boring because it's not art, it's not gaming, but
right.
it is important point.
Yeah.
That's how it always starts, is boring, and then it evolves into something beautiful. Like you said, one of the projects that I talked to Web2 company. Well, I call them Web2 company. They're just a real company, is a better way to say it. Uh, it's not a. They don't know what I'm talking about when I say shit like that.
You have an imaginary business, sir.
Yeah, Web3. What's that?
What?
They're like, I know about the internet, but
Yeah.
no, it's like it's one of those companies where they have the signs outside. It says "We buy houses for cheap," whatever. And it's a whole company. Like, I didn't realize that it's like a franchise company, and basically each of these people, they have their own little thing where they go and they buy the houses, they bid on them, and then they get them. And it all hit me at once. Like, if this could easily be transferred into a DAO structure, right? We could be talking about fractionalization efforts of the NFTs. I think fractionalization is really going to play a big role in everything, even art, right? Like, it definitely has its use cases. I'd like to see it be done a little bit more like certifiably, if that makes sense. Like, right now,
Yeah.
it feels like
Can
we're
can
kind
you
of
say
just
that you
winging
mean
it.
like for example owning a part of Mona Lisa or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? But how do you do that, right? How do you do that successfully? How do you do that legally? How do you do that? There's so many different rabbit holes of where I could
Right.
go with that. How do you do it in a way that it feels clean, right? Like, it
Right.
feels like I truly do own the piece. And, maybe I just have like a zoomed in version of her nose, right?
Right.
But I
These are
don't
the
know.
7 pixels that I own.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that would be cool for me. Some people will really like that in the future.
Yeah.
It's a great way to spread that heritage across the world, right? Like, I spoke
that
in
is true.
2021. This was like last bull run. I spoke with a guy from Mexico, and he was in touch with a family who owned like some really cool art from Mexico that was like 25 to 30 million dollars, but could never leave the country, right? Like, it literally, it would be like a crime. So we were talking about fractionalization efforts, right? How do we make it so that you can retain the heritage, but somebody else can retain the ownership? Like, they don't need the picture in their house. anymore. Like I feel like our generation is moving away from that, right? Like I'm cool with
Yeah.
having like a pixel of it and saying, "Hey, look at my $25 million pixel," right? Who cares? So I don't know. I think that'll be a really cool thing to see. And I think we're close, right? I think a lot of people are working on stuff like that, but it'll really have a nice ripple effect in the art world. Real estate is another
Yeah,
big one,
that's where I
right?
was wanted to go because like yeah, real estate is getting so expensive, dude. Like my kids are gonna be like with the way that's inflating and job and incomes down, house costs going up. You know, you're gonna need to be able to fractionalize that house to be able to own part of it, and maybe your parents own part, and you could like pool some resources or something like that to be able to do that. Dude, there could be. I agree with there needs to be. We have to start building precedent for fractionalization for the fractionalization efforts and show and
Are there, by the way, any a good example of projects that use Fraxel? I'm not native English, sorry, but
yeah, no, that I think that there's some
because
DAOs
this
that
concept is slightly newer for me. Like I heard about it, but like I don't know any real examples of marketplaces. But yeah, anyways, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
yeah, I'm trying to think of how to think about that. How would how to
Thinking
think about
about how to think
I
about.
think about how to think about it. Well, think about how to articulate it. Like, would it be like it's a further extraction instead of abstraction instead of having like your your policy ID NFT, you would have uh a and that would be the main thing. Then you'd have a bunch of all the fractions of it below it on the policy or something like that.
You need like a
Anyway,
secured third party to hold ownership of the policy, make sure nothing could get minted anymore, something like that. Like that's the thing.
which seems like with blockchains cut out the middleman, but when it comes to identity and the issuance of certain products like this, whether it's an identity product or a fractionalized asset, you end up
You need a middleman.
needing you
Yeah.
need you end up needing a middleman.
I mean, could it
Or
be a
people
smart
want a
contract?
middleman. Yeah,
Yeah,
but then you have to like build the precedent for the smart contract so that everyone can agree on it. In a decentralized space, it's hard to get that level of consensus. Like, oh,
sure.
it like see how slow the SIP process is on Cardano?
Yeah.
Like that is like
Yeah,
that actual effort to
it
like
needs to be
create
something everyone agrees
standardization.
on, or maybe just something that is was created and like no, everyone needs to agree with that because otherwise there will be like someone else will come and will say like I have a better idea, I can do this and this, and it needs to be not only like smart contract, it needs to be like on in the network, like for example like in Polkadot in the relation something that is like predefined, so but
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
this was
Use
nice fruitful
case.
conversation.
Yeah, it was good. Definitely have stuff to write down. This is good. Last 4 minutes. This is. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yeah, it was very lovely to chat about NFTs a bit. It's not something I like to talk about a lot, but even though I work with them, it's very hard to say like what is good because even in Polkadot, like we have other marketplaces, we have some project, but all of them feels like very distant from each other. No, like there is no deep collaboration between them. So
See, I
I,
think Cardano is the opposite, where it's a lot, right? Like there's just a lot of different collections, but you have like the central point is the marketplaces, but there's no real area for like fine art. I mean, sure we have like Create, but it's still relatively small in comparison to the rest of the space. That's how I got my kick in the space was one-on-one art. Like we brought artists from Ethereum, from all
yeah.
over the place. And that to me is like that'll obviously be one of the use cases that I didn't list for NFTs, like where people actually truly, it's kind of falls into community, right? Because like an
Yeah.
artist has a community, but I think that's a bull run activity for 100%. So I would be hard pressed to think that a one of one art marketplace doesn't show up in the bull run. Like it's gonna happen. People will get back to doing that. But yeah, I think Cardano's biggest problem with NFTs right now is just it's actually fixing itself. Like it's kind of funny because it was a huge over influx of projects and there was just not enough liquidity or participants in the space to support all of it, right? And now as the owner of a minting company, right? Like it's part of what we do, but we've minted maybe one project a month for the last year. Like we were doing like 3 or 4 in a week during the
Right.
bull run. So to me, like Cardano has a weird way of figuring things out on its own. I think that's one of the unique things about it that I love is like, people, we want meme coins. You can't launch a meme coin on Cardano unless it's perfect. And even if it is, like you only see one, right? Or two every like 6 months. Snack happened a year ago, and then Friend happened 6 months after that. Past that, it's like Hosky. There's
Right.
like three. That's it. Like it's really hard because Cardano people are like, yeah, no, we're not falling for that. Like, or
They're
like,
not about
oh,
it.
the new NFT meta just dropped. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that. Can I buy a house with it? Is it utility based?
Right.
No, never mind. So I don't know. I think it's really cool to see the space evolving and kind of starting to figure out the next layer of NFTs. I still think we have a long way to go. And I think we have like at least another cycle before we start to see like government IDs, before we start to see real estate, tokenized assets like truly established, like a marketplace for them, a
Yeah.
big, big industry.
I'd agree with you. It's probably in the next cycle. That's one thing that's cool about with Polkadot. One of their side chains is the Kilt side chain, and that's a Deloitte partnership that has a verified credential leveraging the Polkadot blockchain. And as far as blockchain stuff, I'd say that's probably the prime use case of decentralized identity. At least, I mean, maybe there's some stuff on Ethereum with similar. I mean, there's probably are, but that's definitely a prime use case as far as identity on Polkadot. That's really cool. Yeah.
That's
Eh.
true.
Well. Thank you, Zachary. Thank you, Lou. And yeah, if we'll hopefully we get to talk again at some point. Um, and it's great to have you, Zach. And we'll see. We might try and do it again and maybe invite you. We might just do some one-offs and interviews a couple other people more one-on-one and add it to the stack of stuff. But like I said, super thankful to you gave us an hour of your time.
Yeah,
Montage.
thank you very much. It was very fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
No, man, anytime. I love this kind of stuff. It's like a learning thing too. Like you learn more about yourself every time you do one of these. And then obviously like just getting to talk about what's going on. It's something I don't get to do very often. I very secluded in the business and trying to figure things out. So like to be able to come and share a little bit, it's nice, man. It's nice to
That's
kind of
good.
spread the word.
I might clip that out, you know.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Just
You
send
can
it
you
to
can
me so
stop
I can use
recording,
it.
I think, and we can just chat a few minutes more.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that. Bye-bye and good luck until next time.